Well, hello again, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friend No Way. And in this video, have you been indoctrinated? The short answer is, oh yeah, you have. So many have. And how can I say that? I can say that by what I know people to deem what is right. Well, this is how it is, and this is how it is. This is what the design of the internet has been used for. I'm from a time when we had books. You had to sit down, and your research came from books. Books that were written that couldn't be changed, that couldn't be altered. And what would I mean by that? The two very clear telling points of this, have you been indoctrinated, comes from, number one, how people today will swear up and down that no matter what, America is a democracy. You've heard me mention it a couple times. The truth is no. America is not a democracy. A democracy is a functioning form of government where the people themselves, without any ruling faction of morals or values or principles, will vote themselves what they deem to be what they want. We want homosexual rights. We want this, we want that, we want welfare, we want socialism, and they're voting it. They're allowing the government through voting to take from one and give to them. That's a democracy. A constitutional republic is what America is. You won't find it today because people do what? They do this. Right here. See? One of these little things? Yes, this one's turned off. But they sit there and they... See what it says? See, right here, I just Googled it. America's a democracy, see? I just Googled it, see? But 90% of what they think comes right from this. It's right there. When Benjamin Franklin stepped out of the Constitutional Congress, when they had finally finalized, ratified, and signed the Constitution of the United States, he walked out and a lady asked him, "Did you give us a democracy?" And Benjamin Franklin said, "No. We gave you a constitutional republic, if you can keep it." But today, people will make excuses and we're a democracy. No, we're not. We are not a democracy. We never were. They want you to believe that we're a democracy. That is so they can indoctrinate you even more through your internet and get you to vote the way they want you to vote. So that's why America is being destroyed. They're basing it on public opinion. Everything they do today is based on public opinion. This is why they take a few hundred people and make those few hundred people look like it's the voice of everybody, when it's not. So you run out there and you vote. And they pull on your heartstrings because, oh, they're going to call me a bad person. They're going to call me the R word. They're going to call me a bigot. They're going to call me this, that, and the other thing, if I don't go along with this. But because our churches have done the same thing, And our churches have been institutionalized so that the people preaching and running churches today, they're doing it according to what their theological professor has told them. They do not take the Bible in context. It is taken out of context. It is manipulated and made to look one way that fits their narrative. Why is it today, when it comes to the Bible, why is it that every single book except the book of Revelation is dissected right down? Every chapter, every paragraph, every verse is dissected and manipulated and twisted to make it, when they talk about a certain subject or something that's going on, why is it that a church takes one verse and they put a meaning to that one verse? And, oh, well, look, see, and this is backed up by this one verse, and that one verse, and that one verse. They don't take it in context. And in context means you have to take all the chapter. What's going on in this chapter? What is the moral and the principles and the values being taught within this chapter? What is the reason for it? What's going on? What is Paul doing? Okay. When Paul was still Saul, and he is going to Damascus, and they're looking for these Christians, and they're looking for different people. What was the reasoning behind it? Well, here's the verse. He's on the way to Damascus. Oh, he stared into the sun and went blind. And what if everybody just kept telling that and telling that and telling that and telling that he was riding into the sun and he got blinded? See? And you can fabricate the whole thing if you don't keep reading and see that it was Jesus that appeared before him. When the winds came up and the dust and the bright light of Jesus appeared before Saul, who is now Paul. Everybody else, what is that? And they're blind and they're shielding their light and their face and everything. Paul needed to see the truth because he refused to see the truth. He was blinded by his leaders. And this is what we're seeing today with the indoctrination on a massive scale. Look at this picture right here. When daylight savings time was explained to the old Indian, he replied, "Only the government thinks you can take a foot off the top of a blanket, sew it on the bottom, and have a longer blanket." Now, why am I pointing this out? I'm pointing this out because I cannot believe how easy it was in the past 15 years to convince the people of America that daylight savings time is in the summer. Right. It's in the summer. It's not in the summer. We are in daylight savings time right now. This is why it was created. It was created during the shortest time of year. It was not created by and started by New Zealand, like Google says. It was actually America and Europe. Mostly America was the driving force behind it. And one of their driving forces was so we don't have children standing at the school bus stop in the morning in the dark because it's dangerous. But then as they backed up the start of the school day, so your teachers working for 5.5 hours a day for 180 days a year can be out of school and out of work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Kids are still standing at the bus stop in the morning, in the winter, in the dark. But you see, people don't remember. It was George W. Bush. What did George W. Bush do? He changed when daylight savings time was to start. And that's what that picture was saying. They take an hour of daylight at the end of the day and put it at the bottom, more or less the start of the day, to have a longer day. Because they don't care. Teachers are out of school. Teachers and a lot of these professionals, they're done at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, their slave labor works around the clock, but that's beside the point. So all they had to do was, first and foremost, nobody reads books anymore. You can go right to a 70s edition, like I used to have, like I showed my boys and I taught my boys out of, a 70s edition Encyclopedia Britannica. And the truth is right there, because it was printed. It's right there. Even if you go online right now today and you go to Encyclopedia Britannica, it's all been changed. The lie is now true, because all they had to do was start telling everybody. George W. Bush changed daylight savings time when it started. He pushed it a week ahead in the fall and backed it up 3 weeks in the spring. Daylight savings time is during the shortest days of the year, not during the longest days of the year. So when they now say that we are going to stay on standard time and do away with daylight savings time, they're laughing at you, because they know we are in daylight savings time right now, and it's standard time during the summer. Why would it be standard time for 4.5 months out of the year, and daylight savings for 7.5 to 8? Right. They're lying to you. They've duped you. The same way of democracy to constitutional republic. And what do people say? Well, I Googled it. Well, I Googled it. Well, I Googled it. Google it all you want. You don't think that they can change it? Look at Wikipedia. Wikipedia, they put down what they want you to believe. And when you search certain terms for, as you say, Google it, you're only getting what they want you to know to be the truth. And the same thing goes on with our churches. Why is it that the book of Revelation is not taught in its entirety? It is not read and broke down chapter by chapter, verse by verse, word by word. Because if it was, then the church would be exposing itself for its own lies. Because the book of Revelation, this is what it's showing, and what they're teaching is not the same thing. It's just not. It's not the same thing. They don't talk about the 7 letters to the 7 churches at all. That takes about 5 minutes. The start of the book of Revelation is 7 letters of encouragement and a timeline that John passed on to these churches in a place called Asia Minor. They don't even tell you it's modern day Turkey. They don't. And then they go on and they say, look, here's the rapture. Verse 1 of chapter 4. Even though it's not a rapture. It doesn't explain that at all. John talks about he felt himself in the Spirit. He heard a trumpet as it was a voice from heaven echo out. It's a very loud voice. Not this little silent, poof, you're gone. And I felt myself as I was in the Spirit being brought up. And I shall show you these things that must come to pass hereafter. So he was brought into heaven to see the visions of what will have to happen before the end is there. And shown everything that will happen so he could write it down. And he could explain it in the book of Revelation. But yet, they don't have their false hope narrative if they were to teach the book of Revelation. If the book of Revelation was to be shown on a chart, as all churches do today, from their institutionalized teachings, then the Bible would not have the book of Revelation. You would come to there and it would say, the Revelation, and out would fold the chart. And this is where we're at today, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly where we're at. You have been indoctrinated. Most people don't know the first truth about the Bible, even though they claim they do. You have people out there believing that they are going to get rewards while they're still alive here on earth. Why? Because, oh, look at these people on YouTube, and look at this, and look at that, and look what they're saying. Well, then study it for yourself. If you don't study it for yourself, then you're lying to yourself. You truly are. You're condemning your own soul and don't even know it. You're being indoctrinated and don't even know it. Look at the lunacy on the internet today. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. And look at people out there. They don't even know what's going on around them, because they can't take their eyes off the front of that screen of that little smartphone or that tablet or that device. They can't take their eyes off it for 5 minutes. Da-ding. Ooh, I got a message. Da-ding. Ooh, I got another one. Da-ding. Ah. They can't function without it. I am from a time when I had to read it. I don't trust anything online today. Nothing. Even all these people that think that they're your friend and, oh, I'm doing this for you. No, they're not. Look at all these prepper channels. Don't you think it's kind of funny that you say 4 or 5 of them and they all say the same thing? Why? Because they all listen to each other and they all push the same narrative. Fear, 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 fear. And they want you, oh, buy this, buy that, get this, get that, do this, do that. Oh, you have to. Fear, fear, fear. And they drive, and they keep going back to these same channels, and they're watching these channels. But do you understand? You know that these people are living high off the hog? Ad royalties. Ad royalties from YouTube. There's this one guy that my wife wanted me to watch, and I pointed it right out to her. I said, he's sitting there telling you, buy gold, buy silver, look at the gold and silver I always buy. Well, of course he does, and he does it once a month. And why does he do it once a month? Because his revenue check comes in from YouTube. So he takes his YouTube royalty check, and he buys gold and silver. And then he yucks it up in your face. Well, he's constantly fear, 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 fear. This is falling apart. That's falling apart. This is happening. That's happening. Oh, buy gold, buy silver. Oh, my link right down, look right down there. And he's saying it's not an affiliated link, but it is. Because when you look at the end of the link, oh, there's his channel. Right. You see, this is what I'm saying. All these people are selling out. They truly are. And they're making money, hand over fist, by you watching them. And you just hanging on everything they say. Oh, they all have big properties and new houses and new garages and new generators and all this prepper stuff that's given to them for free. And they also get a kickback if you click on their link and you buy it. A home freeze dryer, $4,000. Oh, they got theirs for free. Oh, yeah. A dehydrator, $1,200. But they got theirs for free. Look at all these solar generators that they push constantly. They're getting $2,000 solar generators for free. They're getting the solar panels that you need to buy separately and the cables you need to buy separately for free. Do you have $2,500? $4,000? $1,500? No. But they make it sound like you will not survive without it. The only thing you need to do is you need to start knowing the truth of God, the truth of Jesus Christ. You need to learn clearly God is the only way out. Jesus is the only Savior. If you do not have Jesus in your life and you do not believe and follow and do your best to please Jesus, then you're condemning your own soul. Stop being the indoctrinated fool that they want you to be. And understand that most of these people online today are not there for your benefit. They are there for their own benefit. I've never asked for nothing. I've only asked you for a moment of your time. I will tell you the truth, and I will never lie to you. That's just how the ball bounces. Take it or leave it. I understand YouTube is now, they're either shadow banning it, or I guess people just don't like the truth. But I'm pretty sure they're shadow banning it, and people just aren't getting my videos the way they used to. And at the same time, yes, they're taking away the view count because I will not monetize with them. And they don't like that. They need money. They want money. YouTube is losing money. Google is losing money with YouTube. So I am on other platforms, Brighteon, BitChute, Rumble. I know a lot of people don't trust Rumble, but I've looked into it, and so far it's been okay. And so check me out on these other platforms, and we can get away from YouTube. I really, I don't know how much longer they're going to keep me here, or how much longer I'm going to continue to be here. I know that they hate it. And I know there's a few people that just don't like the truth, and they give me a thumbs down and unsub, and off they go because, I hurt their feelings. Well, I don't give a shit. I really don't. You can't handle the truth, then, that's on you. That's not on me. I don't kiss anybody's backside, and I don't want anybody to kiss mine. So basically, grow up and get a life. And may that life be with Jesus Christ. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is No Way